Okay, we are back with today's class and we'll be continuing with MSME. As we have discussed, just let me review whatever we have discussed yesterday, and then probably we can go ahead. Today's topic, MSME. M stands for micro, S stands for small, and the second M stands for medium, and E stands for enterprise. So that's the topic that we are going to cover. In yesterday's class, we have seen what is business environment. Broadly, how are they classified? What are the factors affecting business environment? We have also seen what is the importance of it and how it is useful for business growth, or just to give hints, right? Now, we had also started discussing about MSME. Just let me repeat it once again and then we can continue with this one. As the word MSME means micro, small, medium enterprises, right? This is the backbone of a developing country. We can clearly or we can blindly say that MSME, micro, small, medium enterprises, turns out to be the backbone of any developing country, because this contributes to around 45% of manufacturing and 40% of exports in India. It also contributes around 8 to 10% of GDP every year, right? What is GDP? Gross developed product, right? GDP. It contributes. So it's called as backbone of any country. How did this MSME came into picture? The question, the important one. How did MSME started coming into picture? Basically what happens is, everyone is not highly skilled, everyone is not highly educated, and all the large scale industries cannot produce the goods on their own. They need support system. The support system turns out to be MSME. It's not that only the MSME support the large scale, but MSME also have their own products which are directly sold to the customers or even exported, right? So what is this MSME? We have already seen abbreviation. What is that MSME? Now, how do you define this MSME? In 2006, the government then realized that if substantial support is not extended to these small companies, developing or development will be a slow process. So what? They brought in some rules which is called as Indian Act 2006, in which MSME is given some special facilities, we can say. MSME is given some special facilities so that they do the business and contribute much towards the progress. Why was this observed is, remember, MSME is widespread. One advantage of MSME is widespread. It's not only in metropolitan cities or big cities or towns, it's also there in villages and many other rural or crucial areas in the country. Remote areas, rather than saying crucial areas, let me say remote areas in the country. Altogether, MSME contributes or gives an employment up to 10 crore people in India, right? Up to 10 crore or even more than that. Latest, we'll have to check the latest data, but as of the last data that I have seen, it provides jobs to around more than 10 crore people in India, and it's widespread. It's not that it's only in Mumbai or Delhi or Belgaum. It's also in nearby cities or nearby villages, small villages also. One of the best examples for this can be the weavers, right? Weavers and small exporters or importers or agricultural people who buy the agricultural goods and put it into the market. Many of those things are there. The best examples, what I can think as of now instantaneously, is the weavers, right? So such MSMEs need to be given facilities, and that is done in Indian Act 2006. Right? So I told you, more than 10 crore people are getting employment through MSMEs. Imagine, let's assume that there are 4 members in a family. So 10 crore into 4 is around 40 crore. It's livelihood of around 40 or even more than 40 crore people in India. If MSME is promoted more, then imagine how well one could earn his livelihood. That's the reason India is recently focusing on the statement Make in India. It's also asking foreign investment to invest in India so that they can get better returns on their investment. Right? Make in India. Now, according to this Act, Indian Act 2006, MSMEs are classified in 2 categories. The first one is manufacture service. In manufacturing, basically it consists of plant and machines or machinery. In service, it basically consists of equipments. Right? I already told you, MSME is contributing 45% of manufacturing products all over India, right? So, according to this Act, MSME is classified as in two categories. One is manufacturing, the second one is service. For manufacturing, according to the Act, it says that 2006 Act, it says that if the investment into the company is less than 25 lakhs, it's called as a micro enterprise. Investment in, and when I say investment into the company, it's only into the plant and machineries. If it's less than 25 lakhs, it's termed as micro. If it is from 25 lakhs up to, it's from 25 lakhs up to 5 crores, then it is medium. And if it's from 5 crores up to 10 crores, it is small scale. Right? Sorry, I just misread it. From 25 lakhs to 5 crores, it's small. And then from 5 crores to 10 crores, it's medium. Remember, let me repeat it again. Below 25 lakhs, if the investment turns out to be below 25 lakhs on plant and machinery, it is micro. From 25 lakhs to 5 crores, it is small scale. And from 5 crore to 10 crore, it is medium scale. This is based on investment as per Indian Act 2006. For services, this range or the limit turns out to be slightly lower. The reason is, for services, you don't require much plant or machineries. You require equipments that provides you the services. So, if the investment is less than 10 lakh rupees, then it is termed as micro service enterprise or micro enterprise with respect to service, if it is less than 10 lakh. From 10 lakh to 2.5 crores, it turns out to be small, and 2.5 crore to around 5 crore, it turns out to be from 10 lakhs to 75 lakhs, I suppose. Just check it again. 10 lakhs to 75 lakhs, it is small, and 75 lakhs to 2.5 crore, it turns out to be medium enterprise. Right? So this is how it is being divided. But let me add something to this. This division of this, or this categorization of medium and small scale industry or micro, small and medium enterprise based on manufacturing and services is as per Indian Act 2006. But in 2019, new laws, 2018-19, in that era, new reforms were made in this Act, and the new Act says that this categorization of micro, small and medium is based on, not on investment, but rather it is based on output, or what is the returns that they are getting per year, per annum. Accordingly, the division changes. Now, I think I have already told this in yesterday's class. I have given you a small hint of this. I still would like you guys to go back and check into the Google regarding what is the new scheme that has been released with respect to categorization of a micro, small and medium enterprise, right? So this is how it has been categorized. The next part is how to start. What are the steps involved in starting either of these, micro, small or medium enterprise? Once we cover up this small topic, then I think we can go for role of MSME in developing nations or role of MSME in India, right? The first step would be plan. To start any organization, let it be medium, micro, small, any organization, you require a plan, you require an idea, you require a project based on which you're going to start your business or based on which you're going to go for startup. So you require a plan. This plan can be anything, right? But it has to be commercialized. It has to be realized. It has to be realistic, right? The first step that you require is plan. Once you have a plan, then you will have to think of technology that you are going to use. When I say technology, I am talking about up to what level of technology would you like to use in your project to go for the startup. Let it be manufacturing, let it be service. Up to what level of technology would you like to go for? So the first thing is having a project plan, then deciding up to what level of technology. When I say what level of technology with respect to manufacturing, it can be the size of the plant. Based on size of the plant, it can be what new machineries would you like to invest in. It's conventional lathe, CNC, VMCs, robot operated or automated, fully automated one. What level of machineries would you like to procure for your business? Or if you are going for service based, what level of technology are you going to prefer for this? Whether you're, suppose you're going for a garage, right? Motor garage or vehicle garage repair shops, whether you're going to do it manual, whether you're going to have it semi-automatic, whether you're going to have it computer-based for servicing or fully automatic, that depends on your choice. So up to what technology you're going to choose. Once you do this, the next and the important one is financial arrangements. When I talk about financial arrangement, I'm talking about the amount that you are ready to invest into your project and the source from which you are going to get it from. You need to work out, think over it, how much money is required based on your project and technology, and where are you going to get this money from. Some options are cooperative societies, bank loans, right? Then maybe you have some initial, you owe some properties, so you're going to sell them and get. Many options are there. You need to search, or if some investor is ready to invest into your business plan, then it's a joint venture, right? You need to decide this and get a financial arrangement done. You need to seek some investment. So that's the third part. Next one is UAM, Udyog Aadhar Memorandum. In the sense, this is a simple one-page form which you need to register online to register your company as MSME, either of M, S or M, enterprise. This is a one-page form available online on the government website, which you need to fill in, and it is self-attested. You need to fill it and then register this company, right? So first step, what we had seen is what? You need a project plan. Second step, you need to decide up to what technology you are ready to work in. Third one is getting financial arrangements or financial management. Fourth one is UAM, right? Udyog Aadhar Memorandum, basically registering your company as an MSME. Fourth one is erecting your plant and then starting. Sorry, the fifth one, erecting the plant and then starting the business. That's the part. right? So these are some of the basic steps that we need to follow if you want to start up an MSME. It's very I don't mean detailed in discussed in detail, but it's just a gist, right? So this is the part. Then the next part that we are going to see is, again, which we had already covered 2 to 3 points in yesterday's class, that is role of MSME in India. Sir, the first point again. This is what I had already told you. MSME contributes 45% of manufacturing sector and 40% of import. This we have already discussed. It can be direct manufacturing products or it can be through large scale. So sum together it goes up to 45%, and MSME themselves exports their product to companies outside India, which is contributing up to 40%. That was the first point. Yes sir, second one please. This is what we are, again, the same thing. MSME is contributing to largest sector of employment. I already told you. Sorry. Some data data says that up to 10 crore, even more than 10 crore employments is given by MSME all over India. I have told you, average 4 people in a family, so 40 crore people are earning their livelihood based on this one. Right? So the first one was 45% manufacturing, 40% export. The second one was provides major chunk of employment in India. Next one please sir. Economic independence. You're not dependent on someone else. It's not a 10 to 5 job. If you have your own MSME, you're independent. You are free to do things that you like. You're free to manufacture products and sell it to whomever you want. Your customers tapping in. Basically, you're talking about progress and your own economic independence. Right? Next one please sir. Yes. Now, this turns out to be one of the important points. Generate immediate and large scale employments with low income, correct sir? Low investment, right? I already told you, 2006 Act, service less than 10 lakhs, micro, and for manufacturing less than 25 lakhs, micro. That means you don't need to invest huge. You can generate employment. See, again, the number of people working in your micro or small or medium enterprise may be limited to 5, 10, 15, 20. That depends on what product you are manufacturing. But you can immediately generate employment, right? But with low investment. You don't need to put in much money. You can only start your enterprise with 2 or 3 people with you. Not a problem. And you can develop it later on, then go for shift over from micro to small and small to medium and all those things. Remember one thing which I had forgotten. I had given you this limit of investment, right? 25 lakhs, 5 crores and 10 crores, all those limitations to categorize as micro, small and medium enterprises. If in case you exceed this, as per Indian Act 2006, if you exceed your investment more than 10 crore, then you will be delisted from micro, small, medium enterprise and the facilities that are given to them. Let it be service. Accordingly, service has the upper cap for medium enterprise, and even the manufacturing has the upper cap for manufacturing enterprises. Right? If you exceed that limit, then you will be delisted from the MSME group, and you will not have those facilities anymore. Remember this point. Next one please sir. Eradicate unemployment. Again the same thing, as it's providing major chunk. If more and more people would if more and more people have their own startups or their own MSME, they can give job to many people and eradicate, rather than saying eradicate, reduce the unemployment rate. Why I am saying reduce or eradicate unemployment is, MSME do not require people who are highly qualified with bachelor's degrees or master's degree or anything, even diploma. If they are ITI or if they have some skills, or if they don't even have some skills, through some trainings, the skills can be provided and they can be employed. It's no hard and fast rule that a highly qualified guy can only work in, can get an employment in MSME. Even if he is not qualified, if you go check industries in Belgium, the small, medium, not small or medium scale industries, you usually find when there is a new recruitment, right? The guy who has just walked in, if he is a fresher, he is not directly put onto machine. He is given the least job, right? He is given the least job of cleaning the equipments for initial few months. Then after that, he is also given the job of material handling, that is bringing the material from the store and giving it to the respective employees who are working on the machines, and transferring the job from one machine to another machine, or taking out the burrs after machining, or maybe he is being given the cleaning process after the machining part. All those things, such things are given to him for around 2 to 3 months or even maybe 6 months. Once he is familiar with all these type of setups, once he looks at all those machines, what work is being done on those machines, cleaning, transportation, material handling, all those things, then he's been promoted. In other words, then he's been put up onto some machine for training. He's trained over there. He's not been directly given the major product or major component of an assembly or a product. Small components, he is being given small components to machine, like maybe he's put on a lathe and he's given some small components where he's only going to do a facing or a turning operation for a month. Once he is adjusted to that, then he is given next operation in that, maybe a drilling on lathe or a drilling on a drilling machine or counter boring. Small operations are given. Once he is familiar or he is okay with some machine, then he is being put on to manufacturing of the main components in a product, right? So this guy who has been recruited, he is not even maybe SSLC pass or an IT or anything. He is unskilled, totally unskilled, but through training he is getting into the job, and maybe within 6 months or a year he is trained to work on lathe, drilling or milling or any conventional machines. It's not just this. A guy who has got like more than 5 or 10 years of experience working on conventional lathe or a milling or a drilling machine, and also knows some English, can be trained to write CNC programs and can be shifted to CNC machines. If he can understand some English, right? I don't mean the spoken English and all, just some alphabets so that he can write the program in with respect to the CNCs. If he can understand alphabets and writing those and understand what code will do what kind of a job on a CNC, he can be trained for that and then put onto the CNC machines also. So in this way, this is just a small example. In this way, it can give employment to unskilled people also and help to reduce the unemployment rate in India. Next point, sir, please. Correct. Encourage dispersal of industries in economically lagging region. In the sense, there are still regions or there are still villages or towns in India which are lagging behind with respect to economy. There are no industries in it. There is no commercial or industrial development into those areas. It's still totally maybe 100% agricultural based or job based, in the sense people in that town or village are moving out of that town or village to some other cities to find jobs, and only agriculture is maybe the one of the sources over there. Even in such areas, if you are ready to set up an industry, government has special provisions to promote you guys, because the people in and around that area are going to get jobs in your own companies, right? So it helps in progress of economically lagging areas. Next one, please, sir. Right. This is adjoining point to the previous one, that is, it helps progress of those economically lagging regions. What does this point says is, it helps to bring those economically lagging region by setting up MSMEs in those regions in the mainstream of national development. Otherwise, if there is no MSME in surrounding area, then that area will be left off and rest of the country, rest of the major part of the country go on developing, and that will be left off. And slowly people looking into media, televisions or movies and all, get attracted to the bigger cities or towns because they are giving more opportunities, and then start shifting from those villages back into towns or cities. So if MSMEs are there, employment is being given over there, then there is a chance, there is a greater chance that people stay back and earn their livelihood in a much better way in the same town rather than shifting to some bigger cities. Next one, please, sir. Balanced regional. Promote balanced regional development all over the country. Same thing again, repeating the same. Because there is going to be an MSME in an area, remote area, because there is a contribution from that MSME in form of tax or any tax to the nation, and also providing employment to the local people over there. They also are developed, if not 100% equivalently, but hand in hand to the other bigger cities, and they can also progress. Next one, please, sir. Yes, national income, facilities that the government is given in form of schools or colleges or roads, construction of roads, buildings, and whatever it is. Distribution can be more. Government also focuses, government supply of these things is based on the demand. If a city does not, or if a village does not demand anything like construction of road or anything over there, then that will be left off. If there is, consider any village in and around, if there is no enterprise, any sort of enterprise or any sort of commercial output or industry or anything over there, there will be no people walking in and walking out of the village. There will be no transportation much required except for the passenger transportation. Then that part will be lagging behind. The government also would not focus on it. But if there are few MSMEs or few enterprises in that region, because the goods or the products are going to be sent from those industries outside that village, or raw material is going to be procured from different locations in the country or in and around area into that village, you require good roads or transportation and many other facilities. So slowly even that part starts developing, right? So this is the point which we are talking about. Next one, please.
Effective mobilization of countries' untapped resources.
Right? Suppose this says effective mobilization of countries' untapped resources. Remember, resources, it's not available only in one location. There are multiple locations. You can get coal from many parts in India. It's not that coal is available in only one part. Mining is not done only in Karnataka, or it's only not done in Tamil Nadu or any. It's done in many places, right? Maybe it's not yet developed. Maybe, suppose you're getting raw materials from, there are 5 resources of raw materials available in India. You're getting it from only 3, remaining 2 you're not getting it because there is no proper transportation. Though it's available at a much cheaper rate compared to these 3 sources, you're not getting it from there because of improper facility. Right? So if that facility is developed and resource can also be tapped, and you can increase your productivity through that. So it will help in increasing mobility, and it will help you to tap the resources which have not been taken since long time. Right? Next point, please, sir. That's it. It improves the level of living, standard of living. No one wants to still travel in bullock cart, at least in cities. Villages, they still do it from agricultural point of view. But personally, even when they are traveling, they would prefer bikes. If there is no what? Income, a good source of income. If there is no employment available, they'll still be which are below poverty line. Rather than saying a below poverty line, their living quality will be down. The standard of living will be down. But with employment all around, the standard of living can be improved over there. Right? Next point, please.
What about economic relevance? MSME plays an important role in overall social and cultural.
Yes, overall social and cultural structure. Apart from just employment, nation progress, if you say that you are having your business, you have your own business, there's a different look at you. You're respected. If you say that you're working in some medium or a small scale industry as a manager or something, there is different look at you. That means social and culturally also you'll be respected. Right? Rather than sitting unemployed, if you have some employment and if you go on doing well and get some into good positions, socially you will be respected well, right? And you also can develop new cultures for progress of nation. That was the last one, sir. Okay. Next point, please.
MSME encourages inclusive growth, that is unequal distribution of wealth is discouraged.
Yes, unequal distribution of wealth. Only the owner or the wealth that is earned, it's distributed through many people in remote areas also. It's not that only Bombay is getting developed at a rate of 25% per year and Belgaum is getting developed at a rate of 2% per year. That doesn't happen. Even Belgaum has its own speed of getting developed, right? That is because that unequal distribution of wealth is going down. Right? In Belgaum is the second capital of Karnataka, right? So after Bangalore, Belgaum is the capital. So more focus will be given into Belgaum for development of Belgaum also. It's not that only Bangalore is going to get developed. Yes, Bangalore is getting developed at a much faster rate, but Belgaum is also having some rate. It's not that it's going to go down. This is just because looking at the MSMEs or facilities that are products that are coming out of the manufacturing sector and the service sector in and around Belgaum, government would also like to provide more facilities and shell off some wealth on Belgaum also so as to develop it more. So this helps. So it's not just about Belgaum, it can be any village also. If there is more manufacturing and service sector coming from that part of remote area, obviously government will shift its focus over there so as to shell off some more wealth on it so as to develop it, right? That was the last one, sir. So these are few points that we have checked in form of role of MSMEs, right? The next topic is something different. That is next one. So it's next PDF, impact of globalization. Yeah, the next one is something called as LPG, liberalization, privatization, and globalization. That's the next topic that we need to cover. Just give me a second. Sir, time? Time? 10 minutes. So just 10 minutes remaining. So I'll just introduce to this topic and then we can go for the details in the next class, right? In tomorrow's class, we'll be covering up this part, that is liberalization, privatization, and globalization, or impact of globalization. Along with this, government support or government policies towards MSMEs. If we can cover up these two topics in tomorrow's class, I think we'll be done with almost half of this fourth unit. So now, what happened way back is, since independence, since 1957, many social or economic reforms was done by government from time to time. But we always had an approach of Russian model. We used Russian model, that is to form or frame new rules or go for reforms of economics in India. But this didn't help. By the time it was 1991, most of the government or prime ministers who only had one thing in the mind. If you want to develop something, if you want financial support, you take a loan from World Bank or IMF, International Moratorium Fund. I hope I pronounced it correctly, right? IMF and World Bank. But they were least worried about repaying the loan. Forget about repaying the loan. By the time it was 1990, India had reached a stage wherein India did not even have a capacity of repaying the interest of the loan. Also, there was a lot of poverty in India by the time it was 1919. 40 years, whatever reforms were there, they were not working. Then international pressure from World Bank and IMF started building up on India, asking to reform those economic policies. So the Prime Minister then, that is P.V. Narasimha Rao and Manmohan Singh, right? They stepped forward and reformed Indian economic policies. Prime Minister P.V. Narasimha and Finance Minister Manmohan Singh. But if you check the internet source, Subramanya Swamy was the guy who laid the basic framework for the Indian economic policies in 1991. So with the support of Subramanya Swamy, Manmohan Singh laid this new economic policies in 1991 and P.V. Narasimha Rao approved it. Right. What happened till 1991? We all know how PSUs or public sector units, government sector work. It's a very slow process. And it's not based on or promotions or rewards is not based on the work that you do, based on the quality of work that you do. It's just based on hierarchies or quota system and all those things, right? But then this led to slowdown of the growth, GDP of India. So then what the government then reformed the policies and brought in this rule, LPG, liberalization, privatization and globalization. Also till 1991, government also had a major control over all the private businesses. Majority shares belonged to the government. They controlled almost many of those sectors. Foreign investment was also not that easy into India. There were many rules, regulations, laws that need to be followed, and basically hiccups or bottlenecks for foreign investment. So, Indian economic policies were reformed. When I say Indian economic policies were reformed, what were those? First one was industrial policies, right? Second one was export policies. Third one was taxation policies. Then foreign investment policies, and there are many others. I am just giving a hint to you guys so that you understand what happened. Industrial policies were reviewed, then taxation policies were reviewed, export policies were reviewed, then foreign investment policies were reviewed, and based on this, the first thing that came up was liberalization. Right? Remember, in those days also, India imported more than what did it export. There were a lot of imports. That means you paid a lot to get things into India, but you did not sell off a lot outside India. This also led to huge amount of loan onto Indian government. So through this reforms of economic policies, the LPG, liberalization, the word itself tells you what it means, privatization, the same, and globalization. These things came into picture. The details of this, we'll check it out in the next class, right? We are stopping here for today. Thank you.